Facebook is a sprawling behemoth of a company.
2 billion users is just too much for anyone to handle, right?
From election coverage to celebrating friends' birthdays, Facebook dominates our digital lives.
Its market cap is more than $500 billion. It makes it bigger than all of the Australian banks put together.
The internet is going dark, and we owe it all to Mark. What do we want?
But the social media giant has suffered a series of blows to its reputation that has shaken public confidence in the company.
What's happened to Facebook in the last 18 months is there have been a set of revelations about how Facebook exposes information of people to companies or other interest political parties, and that these things are out of sync with the values of many people in the public today.
Privacy advocate and academic Sulet Dreyfus argues the tide is now turning against Facebook.
If you think about Facebook 5 years ago, people couldn't wait to get on. More and more people were signing up. It was seen as this super friendly online community that people trusted. And now I think today, people are much more wary.
Political campaigns have changed.
One of the biggest scandals was a massive privacy breach revealed in March 2018 that saw the personal data of 50 million Facebook users disclosed to a private company. Soon after, Facebook's founder Mark Zuckerberg was called to give evidence at an extraordinary US Senate hearing.
We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
Zuckerberg has now gone on the offensive with a public commitment to handle personal data better.
I know that we don't exactly have the strongest reputation on privacy right now, to put it lightly. But I'm committed to doing this well.
While Facebook has publicly signalled it is willing to accept government regulation, privately, the company has sought to push back against government interference around the world. Internal Facebook emails suggest that in 2012, Facebook lobbied the US ambassador to Australia in a bid to influence the Australian government. A Facebook employee claimed that the company asked the ambassador to intervene and curb the reach of Australian privacy laws. Facebook said in a statement to 7:30 that the documents about lobbying the Australian government were selectively leaked in violation of a court order. The US ambassador to Australia at the time, Jeffrey Bleich, said in a statement he didn't recall a discussion with Facebook representatives about the reach of Australian privacy laws, or that he had any discussions with the Australian government about Facebook. He said that as ambassador, he would never lobby on behalf of any company.
Some of the questions asked how I view regulation. I don't think the question here is whether or not there should be regulation. I think the question is, what is the right regulation?
Facebook is now facing a further test over how it handles extremism.
Today, though, must be day one of change.
The mass shooting in Christchurch was live-streamed for 17 minutes on the platform.
The footage was not in line with public values of what would be okay to have online. It's a very difficult thing to line to walk on how to fix that.
Today is a day to celebrate the strength of humanity, the strength of love.
The Australian government has introduced new criminal laws that could see executives of major tech companies jailed.
I think there's big risks in jumping to regulatory solutions for problems we don't fully understand yet.
Social media giants were once considered to be untamable by governments, but there's growing agitation from lawmakers around the world that the time has come to rein Facebook in. One of the more radical proposals is to end Facebook's domination by breaking the company up.
You've got to break up Facebook because there's just too much power in too few hands.
Matt Stoller works for the Open Markets Institute, a US think tank that is campaigning against digital monopolies like Facebook.
The easiest way to do it is to separate into Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. That doesn't really require anything. It's pretty easy. The result of mergers just undo the mergers.
I think Facebook has grown too big and too powerful.
Facebook's co-founder Chris Hughes recently added to the calls to break up the company.
So Chris Hughes offered a historical frame about companies that have been broken up in the past and said that these breakups have always worked and that we've been here before. We've dealt with concentrations of power this significant before, and we can do it again.
Senior US Democratic presidential candidates are also urging a closer look at Facebook.
The truth of the matter is, I think it's something we should take a really hard look at.
My sense is that breaking up Facebook is not going to solve the perceived problems that social media has.
Facebook's former Australian managing director Stephen Sheila is cautioning against hasty action.
You know, issues such as the propagation of hate speech, the creation of filter bubbles, the impacts on democracy and how opinions get formed. I don't think these are being caused by the scale of just what Facebook is. They're being caused by the scale of what the internet is and what social media is.
Do you think that Facebook can regain the trust of its users?
I think there's a perception that the trust has been eroded, but the numbers aren't saying the same thing. They're saying that people are still comfortable with the trade-off of being on Facebook. I'll give you my data if you give me, the utility of Facebook.
Ultimately, Facebook's vast reach will shape how people across the globe communicate.
This is a decision for democratic societies all over the world to decide how we want to interact with each other.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.